Hey gang, so today I wanted to talk to you about something that I got myself that kind of surprised me. I've never been a bead guy, but today that has changed. This is the 01 EDC Time Capsule Bead, Time Capsule No.1 Bead, in brass and stainless steel. And there's not a whole lot to talk about, but we'll have a look at it anyways, and we'll also look at why I got it and where I'm putting it. All right, it's the Time Capsule Bead. Let's go. Okay, so here we have the Time Capsule. This is like the 01, I think 01 EDC Time Capsule Bead in stainless steel and brass. Now, I bought this for a very specific purpose, and that was to pair with my Beetle Crash. Now, I could not find one in copper to match, and that is the only thing that makes me sad. I really wanted the same color, so if there's anybody out there that has this in copper and would like to trade, please let me know. I'd be happy to trade for it. With this together, first of all, I'm just going to show you how it works together, and then we're going to take it apart and have a look at it here. So I'll just pop it on just so you can see it. Of course, you're going to be really annoying right now, aren't you? One thing that I do love about, okay, are you on? Are you stuck? Get on there. There we go. Okay, one thing I love about the Beetle Crash is the ring actually has that little collapsing kind of entry to it, a clasp, I guess. I don't even know. Yeah, clasp. So instead of having to tie it around, you can actually have it pre-tied in just like a loop at the end and then just run it through the ring, which is great. So this, I love. The weight to this is so nice. It kills me that it's not the same color, that it's brass or not copper. I was talking to somebody, or somebody had one for sale, and I tried to get it off of them, and I asked a question, never responded. And I waited, kept saying, hey, just checking, nothing. So I'm not sure why when people do that, if they list something for sale and they don't answer you. But that kind of got me to, at that point I was like, okay, I have to find this somewhere. So I ended up buying this. Again, I bought this myself, but I bought this on GEEONE. And that was it. This I think was the only one in stock. I love this combination. I mean, regardless of the color, other than the color, this is a great combination. The lanyard it comes with, I'm not super crazy about, but again, this is, it is what it is. I'm gonna walk through a couple things. I did buy off of, I also bought off GEEONE some lanyard paracord, right? And the design was really nice and stuff. The problem is, and I did not realize this when I bought it, it's actually useless for this, at least for me, because this cord is too thick to go through the hole more than once. You cannot double it through. So it's one of those things where you would have to run it through, tie it off here on the top, and then have the line continue through and tie it off on the bottom. And I'm just, I don't know enough about tying paracord to do that, or tying lanyards. So that was kind of disappointing. I wish I would have known that before buying it, but I mean, listen, it is what it is, right? All right, so we are going to take the time capsule apart to show you what was inside, because I was pretty curious what's in there, and it's actually pretty cool. Okay, let's get rid of our Beetle Crash. So this comes with this paracord, and this is just a loop, right? Like, it's a loop here. I tied a second knot to shorten it. I found it a bit too long, so this is not a big deal. I can untie this with confidence and not worry about losing the paracord itself. So this is how it comes. It's like this, right? One little stopper knot here, and we're going to undo that as well. Okay, so very simple. See, but again, it's got that nice like it kind of loops up and comes back and then ties in on itself, which the paracord sold by GEEONE, at least in this particular case, really can only fit through once. There's no way to fit it back. So with that disappointment set aside, let's open this up. So this comes in multiple pieces. Now, this cap comes off first, right? Put that here. And then the whole thing just kind of slides right out if you want. If you need to get at the other bearing though, this cap also comes off. And we have our bearing inside here. So we have bearing, and then we have this cap comes off, this bearing, and our little axle, we'll call it, with the little 01 EDC printed right inside there. So that's kind of it. There's not a lot else to go over on this. That's it. 2 bearings, caps, and these little collars. So if we put our bearing back in, right, put our cap back on. So we're tight. Now I will say, oh yeah, and so of course the bearing itself, right, the bearing sits right inside here, right inside the neck. We get our other bearing on. So really, once this collar is in place, the bearing's not going anywhere. And as you can see, this keeps popping out until we get the cap on the other end. And then of course the cap is what lets us spin. But not too tightly. Oh, come on, now. Now what did I do wrong here? Okay, so I've got something on here. I've done something wrong. Because this does go on tight. And I know that because I've done it multiple times. So let's figure out what I did wrong here. And I believe but no, my caps are the same. My bearings are the same. Same bearings, same height, same everything, but there is a difference here. Let's try this again. This side. Okay, so we can see there's a gap here, right? That gap is important because it doesn't have it on this other side. But the bearings themselves are the same. You can see here that if our one bearing fit through here. Right. The question is, which cap has to go on first? If I have my little collar on here, get my little brass. There we go. Yeah, so those are on tight. So it's also that Silver has to go on silver, brass has to go on brass. You can't mix the caps up, I guess. At least I don't think you can. I mean, that would be really weird though, right? Because the caps are the same size. Let me test that theory. Let's get this little cap off. There we go. Yeah, I mean, our caps look the same. Okay, let's get the other. No, okay. So, caps don't matter. You can actually mix and match. So, why does it not spin properly when it goes in the other direction? Let's figure this out. I can almost hear some of you screaming at the screen. So let's say left side here. Okay. And then we're going to remove this. So we know this is our left side cap, right side. So let's look inside and try to figure out why this has to be a certain way. Is it just the length? The length seems to be the same. The length is the same. Well, you know what? Let's put the whole thing together this way and see if we can tell the difference. Okay. So with the bearings kind of being held, this spins. That won't fit. That won't fit. Okay. This one's got me. I honestly don't know why there's a gap here and why that has to go in this side. Let's set this over. We know that this goes to the left. We know the cap goes to the left. If we keep that in mind, then we know that this is how it works properly. And we know that the extra, or the odd side, let's call this the strange side, goes to the left. So why is it when we're in here, now of course, you know, with our silver cap on, what is the difference between this and this? We have a tiny little stopper in here, which is interesting. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little lip inside, a little edge that I'm assuming is to make up for this extra gap here. Oh, okay. So when this sits inside that little collar in here, it stops it from moving. See that, how it stops it from sliding forward? So it actually rests on there. So that's why it's that extra length needs to be there, or it won't line up properly. So I think I've got that figured out then. So bearing on this side, and let's just get our cap in here. You just have to get your cap on one side. Right? Okay, so we got bearing, cap. I know why it's doing it. I just couldn't tell you the purpose. I'm sure somebody can, and hopefully will, in the comments. So that's kind of an interesting one. But just know that if you have one of these and you take it apart, and it's not spinning all of a sudden, that's the reason. Yeah, so the extra length has to be, the extra length goes to the side that has this fixed collar. That's part of the shape. And then it spins. This thing will spin for days. Like this literally spins amazingly. And maybe it's because there's 2 bearings in there. And see, when it came with a single knot, it literally just came like this with like a single knot. And I found it to be too long. Like too long for it to be effective on the beetle crash, because it just, I like being able to hold it. You know, I want something that I can hold on to. And so making it like shorter, I just found helped. I'm not going to do that now though, because it's kind of a pain. And I don't want to make you guys watch me go through all that. So I'll put this aside for now, and we'll just leave this as the time capsule. Ooh, let me line up that logo. All right, so this was a bit of an adventure, but I'm assuming if I went through it, then someone out there went through it as well, and so it's worth showing. Hopefully this has helped at least one person figure out why it was not spinning properly. Okay, gang, thanks for watching.